We are in the Harmattan season, and as a catfish farmer, you might experience some strange behavior or some weird behavior of your catfish. Yes, that is the Harmattan, and Harmattan comes with a lot of effects. So in this video, I'm going to show you some of the effects of Harmattan in your catfish, and I'll give you 10 practical ways of solving that issues. Because if you are not able to manage your fish farm very well during this season, you are going to lose greatly because of the effects of Harmattan. So please stay watching, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive in details. So before I give you the effects and the 10 steps, let's see what Harmattan is. Harmattan is a dry and cold season that typically occurs between November and February in West Africa. And this is characterized by dry air, which has low humidity levels and dusty winds. This is blowing all the time. And it's also cold temperature. And the coldness usually is in the night or in the morning. And this also has water scarcity because mostly during this time, rivers, streams, dams, and even underground water sometimes dry up. And because of that, water is scarce for your fish. So, this is Harmattan. It is not a worldwide issue, but it is mostly occur in West Africa. So now let's look at some of the effects of Harmattan on your catfish. The number one effect of the Harmattan on catfish is cold water temperature. Harmattan lowers water temperature, especially at night and in the morning. And since catfish are cold-blooded, their metabolism slows down in cold water. So this means that they eat less, they move less, and they grow lower. The second one is lower immunity. The stress from cold water can weaken your catfish immune system, making them more susceptible and subjective to disease like skin infection, white spot, and stores. Another reason is water scarcity. Like I mentioned earlier, during Harmattan season, rivers, dams, streams sometimes dry up, and because of that, there will not be enough water for your fish farm. So making water to be scarce. And as we all know, water is life when it comes to fish. The fourth effect is reduced activity and feeding. Catfish tend to eat less and less active in eating during Harmattan. Like we said, they spend more time on the bottom of the pond and eat less. And mind you, because the weather is cold and the metabolism level is lower, they do not digest and release the old feed that is taken, and now you are giving them next feed, so they will not take much. Because just like human, when they eat and it digests and they take it off or they remove it in the form of feces, then they become hungry and they eat again. But here's the case, the feces is still in them or the feed has not been digested and you are giving them more feed, they can't take. And when that happens and you are not lucky and you don't manage very well and you overfeed them, what I mean is that you give them and they don't eat and it dissolves into the water bodies, then it also has low or poor water quality issues, which is going to lead you to other problems. Now the fifth effect is risk of poor water quality, and that boils down to what I just said. Because of the uneaten feed or the leftover feed is dissolved in the pond, it increases the ammonia and reduces oxygen level, and for that matter, the water quality becomes very low and less conducive for your fish to strive or to live in there. So these are the 5 effects. If you don't manage this very well, you are going to lose your fish or you are going to experience lower growth. So let's now look at the 10 ways to manage catfish during Harmattan. But before there, please, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so, like, share, and comment. and let's dive in together. First and foremost, you need to keep your pond water warm. And to do that, you can combat cold temperature by covering your ponds or tanks at night with materials like tarpaulin. This helps trap heat. And if you use tank or tanks, you can also add warm water during water changes. And for ponds, just create shallow areas where the sun can warm the water faster. The second one is feed at the right time. Yes, because we said they don't eat when the weather is cold. So you need to take the right time to feed your fish. Feed them at the time the temperature is a bit hot or higher. For instance, from 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. That time there is sun, or at least the weather is a bit hotter. So this time the temperature of the pond or the water is high, and probably they will be energetic to take. Avoid eating them Avoid feeding them early in the morning or late in the night when the weather is cold and they are in the bottom of the pond and they will not want to eat. So taking them feed at the right time is going to help you tremendously. The third reason is to always ensure that your water is clean, and by so try to remove oil and eating or leftover feed or debris on the surface, especially when they don't eat. For instance, yesterday I visited a fish farm, a catfish farmer, and on the pond I saw a lot of leftover or uneaten feed floating. So I asked him and he told me that the fish doesn't eat much these days. So he gave them, they just ate some more and they left the rest. So I told him that it is because of the Harmattan. During Harmattan season, they don't eat much. But I advise him to always use the responsive feeding method, where you give them small at a time and observe how they take. When they finish eating, then you give them more. At the end of the day, you will not overfeed them. So I also advise him to remove the uneaten feed and told him that anytime he feeds them and realize that there are some that is floating on the surface and they are no more eating, he should pick them out. Otherwise, they will dissolve and deplete the oxygen level in the pond. So these are the issues that you need to take much interest. The fourth thing you have to note is to always boost their immune system. Cold stress can weaken the immune system of the fish. So adding vitamin C or other supplements to their feed will always strengthen their immune system. Sometimes you can also use natural remedies like bitter leaves or salt to always add it to your pond to increase their immune system. It is very important. The fifth thing you need to note is always manage your water very well, because like we said, during Harmattan season water bodies are drying up, so water becomes scarce. So if you don't manage the water very well, you are going to encourage or you are going to face water shortages. So always make sure you get a reservoir stored, and to manage that same water in your pond continuously. That's why we recommend you install the filtration system, such as recirculating aquatic system. When you install the filtration system, it's going to allow you to use that same water all the time. So make sure that you manage your water very well. The sixth one is to clear vegetation around your ponds. Yes, because this also encourages coolness. When the sun is hot or during hot period, the vegetation, the trees and the grass around provide shade and coolness to your fish. So now that the water is cool already, so this vegetation also add more coolness, it worsens the situation. So during this period, you can clear vegetations around so that at least when the sun comes out small, it's able to heat the pond, and then the temperature will be normalized for the fish in the pond. The seventh point is to repair pond leaks, and this will also ensure that it makes judicious use of your water. Like we said earlier, water is scarce, so check and repair any leaks to maintain water stable. For instance, if you're using concrete ponds, sometimes it leaks, or tarpaulin ponds, sometimes they leak. So make sure you check. If there's any leakages, try to mend it or to protect the leakages. In that case, you are going to maintain and keep good water for your pond. The eighth one is to monitor fish behavior. Always check daily for unusual behavior, like gasping at the surface for oxygen, or just to see either there is sign of any disease. So when you monitor all the time the behavior of the fish, especially daily, then if there's any issue with the fish, you can detect that early and provide solution before it is too late. Like we said, if the oxygen level is lower because of the uneaten leftover feed dissolve, you will see them gasping for oxygen. So when that happens, you can easily or quickly change their water or add another remedy. But if you don't check, and by the time you realize, the harm is done. So always monitor the fish behavior to detect unusual behavior and provide solution on time. Now the ninth one is be patient with slow growth. I mentioned it during the beginning. Naturally, catfish grow slower during Harmattan period because of the conditions or the effects that we've enumerated. They don't eat well, the immune system is weak, and all these contribute to slower growth. So don't expect that your catfish will grow faster during this period. So be patient when you find out that they are not growing enough. And that means that you are going to have fish grow slower. So be aware and be prepared for that. Now, the last and the 10th point is to prepare ahead for Harmattan. The saying goes, you can't pick a dog and train it on the hunting day. As Harmattan is approaching, and we all know it is from November to February, during that period, make sure you get feed on stock, vitamins or medications, and all the things, like we say, cover the pond with tarpaulin. Make sure you get all these available and ready, so that at the time that the fish are going to face Harmattan, then these things will be ready for use. But when you wait till Harmattan is here and you are running helter-skelter looking for them, the possibility of you not getting them is higher. So make sure that you prepare ahead for Harmattan, so that when it comes, it doesn't overtake you overnight or just have taken you by surprise and you don't know what to do. And just to recap of what we just talked about, Harmattan can bring several challenges to your catfish farm, including cold water, reduced feeding, and water scarcity. These 10 practical tips that I have shared with you, if you practice them, you are going to face healthy fish and your farm will be thriving during this season. Please, if you found this video helpful, please give a thumbs up, share it with others fish farmers, and subscribe to my channel for more fish farming tips. And if you have any challenge, let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Abdulaziz Issa. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Watch our next video and see you in my next video. Thank you very much.